Hello children, today we saw a new lesson. Before starting the lesson, I will ask you some questions. Are you all ready to answer? Yes. Have you ever heard of a time in South India's history called Sangam Age? What does the word Sangam make you think of? Sangam often means a gathering or assembly like a meeting of people in a context. This historical period. Sangam refers to gathering of poets or scholars. Okay. Do you know roughly when the Sangam age happened in South India? Was it a long time ago or more recent? The Sangam age happened in very long time ago, roughly between the 3rd century BC or 3rd century CE, nearly 20,000 years ago. Okay. Can you name any of the major poets that existed in South India a long time ago? We heard like Thiruvalluvar. Can you specify the poets who lived during Sangam age? During the time of Sangam, there are three main popular poems in Tamil country. The three main powerful kingdoms who flourished in Tamil Nadu. The Cheras, Cholas and the Pandyas, and we learned about each of them in this lesson. Okay, shall we move on to the lesson? Okay, I will tell you what is meant by Sangam. The lesson name is The Society and Culture in Ancient Tamilagam, the Sangam Age. The word Sangam refers to the association of poets who flourished under the loyal patronage of the Pandya kings at Madurai. The poems composed by these poets are collectively known as Sangam. Literature. The period in which these poems were composed is called the Sangam Age. Sources. Now we got an overview about the Sangam Age. Now we are looking about the sources of archaeological sources, which gives more information about the Sangam period. Shall we see? Yes. First we will saw what are the inscriptions. Then we will saw what are the copper plates they can use. Hathikumba. First inscription, Hathikumba inscription of King Karavela of Kalinga. Pugalur near Karavela inscription. Edicts 2 and 13 and inscriptions found at Mangulam, Elagamalai. These are the inscriptions. Keelvalavu near Madurai. What are the copper plates we will saw now? Velvikudi in Chinnamangalam copper plates. Now we got an idea about the inscriptions and copper plates found in the period of Sangam. Now we saw what are the coins found used in this period. Megalithic coins, excavated materials. What are the literary sources? Foreign notices, what are they? We will saw each of them in detail now. Burials and hero stones. These are the megalithic monuments. Excavated materials from Adichanalu, Arikendu, Pudumanal, Puhar, Kokai, Alagankulam, Urayur. These are the excavated materials found in Sangam period. Now we saw the literary sources. What are they? We will see. Tolkappiyam, Etitogai. Etitogai, we know of 8 anthologies. Why we call 8 anthologies? Because it starts from 8 to Patapattu, 10 anthologies. 19 Keelkanaka, a collection of 18 poetic works. Patinapalai and Madurai Kanchi. Epics, 2 epics. First one is Silapadikaram and next one is Manimekalai. Foreign notices. The Periplus of the Sea, Pliny's Natural History, Ptolemy's Geography, Megasthenes Indica, Rajavali, Mahavamsa and Deepavamsa. These are the foreign notices found in this period. The Cholas. The Chola kingdom of Sangam period extended up to Venkandam Tirupati hills. The Kaveri Delta region remained the central part of the kingdom. This area was later known as Cholamandalam. Next we will see about the Pandyas. The Pandyas rule in the present day of Tamil Nadu, southern Tamil Nadu. The Pandya kings patronized the Tamil poets and scholars. Several names of Pandya kings are mentioned in the Sangam literature. Nedunchelyan was hailed as the most popular warrior. He defeated the combined army of Shera, Chola and 5 Elias. Chieftains at Talai Alanganur, he praised that the Lord of Korkai. Now we will see the Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas garland, port, capital and their symbols. First we will see both the Cheras garland, his capital, his port and his symbol. Cheras garland was Pamia flower. Musiri Tondi was his port. Vanshikara was his capital. And he used his symbols as bow and arrow. Next, Cholas. Fig Atti Lover was his garland. Puhar was his port. Uriyar Puhar was his capital. Tiger was his symbol. Next, Pandyas. His garland was Magosa neem flower. Korkai was his port. Madurai was his capital. 2 fish. His symbol's picture was given in the book. Children, have you seen a picture of the symbols of Movendar? Yes. These are the symbols, port, capital and garland of Cheras, Cholas and the Pandya king. Next we will see about the taxation during Sangam period. Then income to the state was through taxation. The land tax was the main source of revenue and it was called Irai. This apart the state collected tolls and customs, Sangam tributes and fines. The kings and soldiers wore the heroic anklet, Virakal on the anklet. The name and achievement of the Virar were mentioned. not only to find out what was happened within the country, but also in foreign countries. The wound in the back was considered a disgrace, and there are instances of king fasting untold because they had suffered such a wound in the battle. Next, we will see about the court. The king's court was called Arasavai. The king occupied a ceremonious throne in the court called Arianai. In the court, the king was surrounded by officials, distinguished visitors, and court poets. The rurals had five-fold duties. They were encouraging learning, performing rituals, presenting gifts, protecting people, and punishing the criminals. Ambassadors were employed by the king. They played a significant role in the court. They were assisted by a number of officials. They are divided into Aimberangulu, 5-member committee, and Emberayam, 8-member group. Next, we will see about the army. Army during the Sangam period. The king's army consisted of 4 divisions, namely infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariot force. The army was considered as Padai. The chief of the army was considered as Talaivan. Next, we will see about the Thinais. What are the Thinais? 5 Thinais mentioned in the book. Landform was divided into 5 Thinais like Kurinchi, Mullai, Maradam, Neidal, and Palai. We will see each of them. What are they in detail? First, we will see about the Kurinchi. Kurinchi, their landscape is hilly region. Hunting, gathering was occupation. We call it as Kurinchi people as Kuravar, Kurutiyar. Murugan was their god. Next, Mullai. Landscape was forest region. Mullai's occupation was herding. We call it Mullai people as Ayar Archiyar. Moyon was their god. Maradam. Landscape was river and track plains. Occupation was agriculture. People, we call Mullai people as Ulavan Ulatiyar. Indran was his god. Neidal. Landscape was coastal region. Occupation was fishing and salt making. Parathuva Mulatiyar was their people. Varnan was their god. Palai. Pachan land. Heroic deeds. Occupation. People Maravar Martiyar. Kotravai was their deity. These are the 5 major Thinais. Their landscape, their occupation, name of the people, and their duties. Next, we move on to before moving to the next one, the land was Mullai. Before moving to the next one, the land was classified according to its fertility. Maradam was also called as Menpulam, fertile land. It produced paddy and sugar cane. The landscape excluding Needle was called Menpulam, hard land, and it produced pulses and dry grains. Now we will see the status of women in Sangam period. There was no restriction for women in social life. They were learned and wise women. 40 women poets had lived in and left behind the valuable works. Marriage was a matter of self-choice. However, chastity, kapu, was considered the highest virtue of women. Sons and daughters had equal shares in their parents' property. Next, we will see about the religious beliefs and social divisions. The primary deities of the Tamils was Murugan and other gods worshipped. Next, we will see about the clothes. People wear 2 pieces of clothes made of cotton. The Sangam literature refers to curds, kailingam, which were thinai, the skin of a snake, The women adorn. They have played with flowers, both men and women. Variety of ornaments. They, they were made of gold, silver, or pearls, precious stones, conch shells, and beads. People were fond of using aromatic perfumes. These are the dress and ornaments about the people who lived in Sangam period. Arts. Next, we will see about the music, dance. There are many references to variety of musical instruments such as drum, flute, and Karikalan was a master of 7 notes of music. Indisai 11 singing. Words were called Pana and Veraliar. Dancing was performed by Kanigayar. Kuttu folk drama was the most important cultural practice of the people of Sangam age. They developed the concept with Tamil Lisai Nadagam. Now we are going to see the arts, music and dance performed during Sangam age. There are many references to variety of musical instruments such as drum, flute, and Yal Karikalam was master of 7 notes of music. Illisai Valavan singing. Baths were called Veraliar. Dancing was performed by Kanigayar. Kuttu folk drama was the most important cultural practice of the people of Sangam age. They developed the concept of Muttamil, Yel, Isai, Nadagam. Now we are going to see about their occupation. The major occupation of the people were agriculture, cattle rearing, fishing, and hunting. Other craftsmen like carpenter, blacksmith, goldsmith, and now we were going to see about the two kinds of markets. There are two kinds of markets. Leading cities like Puhar and Madurai. In Madurai, there are Nalangadi and Alangadi, the evening market. Nalangadi is also known as morning market, and Alangadi is also known as evening market. In this market, large varieties or large quantities of goods were sold and purchased. Now we were seeing what are the major ports during Sangam age. Musuri, Tondi, Korkai. These are the major ports. Now we will see what are the main exports. Salt, pepper, pearls, ivory, silk. Salt, pepper, pearls, ivory, silk, spices, diamonds, saffron, precious stones, muslin, sandalwood. These are the major exports. Next, we are going to see the main imports. Toppers, tin, glasses, horses, these are the major imports and exports of Sangam period. Next, we will see archaeological excavations have confirmed the trading relationship between the Tamilagam and the countries such as Greece, Rome, Egypt, China, Southeast Asia, and Sri Lanka. Calabras. Towards the end of the 3rd century CE, the Sangam period slowly started to decline. Following the Sangam period, the Kalabras had occupied the Tamil country. We have got very little information about Kalabras. We neither found any evidences. Sorry, they left neither artifacts nor monuments or evidences. But we find evidence in literary texts. We found evidences in Sivaka Sindhamani, Periya Puranam, and Kundal Kesi were written during this period. In Tamilagam, Jainism and Buddhism became prominent during this period. Introduction of Sanskrit and Prakrit languages had resulted in the development of new script called Vatil Aladu. Trade and commerce were continuous to flourish during this period. Padaran Kilkanaka was composed. So the Kalabra period is not a dark age as it is mentioned. That's all the end of the lesson. Now we will going to see the summary of the lesson. Children, I'm going to recap what we saw in the whole lesson. First we will see about the Sangam. What we saw before Sangam. The word Sangam refers to the association of poets who flourished under the royal patronage of the Pandya kings at Madurai. Movendars, the Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas. The Pandyas controlled the territories of Tambalakam during the Sangam Age. About from 3 great monarchs, Tamil country was ruled by several independent minor chiefdoms. These are the overview. Then we saw about the administration, their markets, their clothing, their ornaments, what they wear. Then we will saw about their court, their rules, how they follow their rules. Then their status of women, etc. We will saw detailed in this lesson. That's the end of the lesson. Now we are going to see the question answers. I will ask children, shall I going to ask some questions in that lesson? Yes. Okay. Now I will ask some questions regarding Chera, Chola and Pandya kings. You tell the symbols of the king. Okay. What is the symbol of Chera king? What? Bow and arrow. Chola king symbol was tiger. Pandya king symbol was fish. The battle of Veni was won by Karikalan. The earliest Tamil grammar work on the Sangam period was Tolkappiyam. Who built Kallane across the river Kaveri? You all know. Tell me what's the correct answer? Karikalan. Army was known as Talaivan. Land revenue was called Ira. True or false? Caste system didn't develop the Sangam period? No, false. There was no caste system developed during the Sangam period. Who was the chief of the village? Kila. It's true. Puhar was general term for city? No, it's false. Coastal region was called Maradam. Is it true?